Friday, which means it's time to deploy. The gang's all here. We got Matt, we got Jim, we got Charlotte. We've got a lot of things to talk about. We got our Future of Platform Engineering survey. We've got Ship 25. This calls for speakers soon going to be closing. We've got a bunch of videos. Got lots of stuff going on, folks. Got GitHub Universe 2025. Lots of stuff happening. So that all being said, how was everyone's week this week? Beyond just the chaos that has been happening.
Pure chaos for me. Yeah, I can't even remember what I did this week. It was just death by meetings, death by last minute meetings. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, it's been another fun week. Today is, of course, I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, John. Today is Halloween. So our kids are nagging at us to go out and about and see some houses. And Tasmania is starting to get more into the spirit. I should say probably Australia. I mean, John, you'll have a good appreciation of this from your homeland and, you know, how little we do over here compared to back home sort of thing with Halloween. But yeah, we're starting to embrace it more, and the kids seem to love that sort of stuff. So we might be out and about after tea tonight, which will be cool because it's been a nice day.
Are you going to go trick-or-treating, Charlotte?
No, but we do have a bowl of candy kind of out by the door because we didn't have it last year, and we had kids come to the door and they looked great, and we just didn't have anything ready. So
yeah,
my suburb in particular in Sydney, it's quite, I mean, I guess it's got a lot of families, but there's 2 streets in the last 2 years that have done just amazing things with their yards. It's amazing. I'm so impressed. And it's changed a lot in the last 4 years maybe.
Yeah, I suppose we should probably tell folks Halloween is not terribly well celebrated down here in Australia. It's actually viewed with a lot of animosity, to be quite frank. And they call it an American holiday, even though it's not really a holiday. It's just more of a day of celebration. It's not even American. It comes from Europe. But anyways, we've been to houses before with our kids. We've been handed jars of jam and cans of tomato soup, etc. Here in Australia, which has always been interesting. So yeah, if you ever want to have an interesting Halloween experience, come down here to Australia.
I'll get the Vegemites lined up for a bit later tonight to give to the kids. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it's been interesting. But yeah, that being said, I mean, we've had a lot of things going. To that end, we have been celebrating Halloween to a certain extent. We hosted the Octopus 101 earlier today, and this was a Halloween themed deploy if you dare. So I tried my best to obviously provide some Halloween cheer, I guess. I didn't get dressed up. I did have the idea of becoming a manual deployment. I was going to stick all these things, but it didn't work for the video. I would have to have a full length video, but I think what I'll do is I'll dress up tonight. I'm going to dress up as a manual deployment. I've got an old CD and a USB stick, and I'm going to kind of tape them to me, and I got a high vis sweater that I'm going to throw on there. So that'll be fun. So anyways, this is the 101 that we occurred earlier this morning. The 101 series, by the way, is one of many that we have as part of our webinar lineup. So you'll find us at octopus.com/webinars. You can see this is the one that we hosted earlier today. We host these monthly, and the next one that we'll be doing is in November. We haven't announced it yet, but we do have some other ones that have been announced. Primarily, we have myself, Bob, and Chip doing your platform's gatekeeper problem, why shared responsibility beats control. This is going to be done in conjunction with the fine folks over at Platform Engineering. So feel free to register for that, and that will be on Wednesday, November 12th. And then later on, we're going to have myself and Dan do a recap of everything that's going on at KubeCon North America. So lots of fun stuff happening there, and we're going to be summarizing what we saw as part of that, and of course, lots of great announcements I'm sure will be part of that. But that being said, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff that's going on, including a survey right now, Charlotte. This is the Future of Platform Engineering survey. What are you asking here for folks to do?
Yes, I would love everyone to complete this survey. It just has, I mean, anyone involved in a platform at all, or works with one, or is a platform engineer, or I guess is a sponsor of one, please please, pass this around and complete it yourself. There is a chance to win a $100 Amazon voucher if you do complete the survey.
Nice.
But the take home is that we're essentially just trying to go deeper into what we learned from the Pulse report, I guess validate our results with more respondents, and I guess mainly just to go deeper into the specifics of how successful platforms are created, and I guess past the time variable where the biggest aspect of success is to do with time. But prior to that, what are successful platforms doing in the short term? That's kind
Right.
of what we're into. Yeah. So please pass it on.
All right, $100 vouchers for Amazon. You can pick up some. I don't know what can you get from $100 on Amazon. What's that, Jim?
Probably about 10 Halloween outfits.
outfits. Halloween
That's
outfits,
right.
yeah.
Hey, there you go. Perfect segue. Halloween outfits. There you go. And if you got Prime, it might get delivered in time. So there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I will add on to that, and I put this on LinkedIn earlier in the week, and I'm fairly open about this, is that I used to see surveys like this as an engineer, and I just used to sort of skim past them and be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But in saying that, since joining Octopus earlier in the year, I have certainly a new appreciation for what goes into the surveys, but then what comes out the other side. It's, of course, where we get a lot of findings. Folks like Dora do the Dora report, where we're doing platform engineering reports, and other ones in the future as well. We've done things like the GitOps report, which was the main one in the industry really that exists today. And there's a lot of findings that come out of it. And what I've come to appreciate is that 10 minutes of your time will allow you to see what others in the industry are doing and what's happening and what's trending, so you can stay up to date with what's relevant and what's actually happening out there as well. So, and it starts a lot of discussions as well, within the community, not just for us here at Octopus, but some interesting findings come out of it, which people talk about at conferences or on LinkedIn or in user groups or whatever it might be. So, yeah, that's just my perspective. I've got a newfound appreciation for the surveys. For 10 or 15 minutes of time, it really does help strengthen our entire industry. So, yeah, that's my sell.
Great.
Nice.
Thanks, Matt.
Fantastic. Well, you heard it here. $100 Amazon vouchers. You heard Matt's appeal. So there you go. Help Charlotte out.
Yes.
Fill out the survey today. Let us know what you're doing around your platform engineering experience, which would be great. And speaking of experiences, we actually had one. We did talk about Halloween, but I'll just bring this up. This is up on our LinkedIn. You can see that we got into the office and holiday spirit because some great and Ray dressed up as a lawyer, I see. But we had some folks here dressing up at the office, which was great. We had some Halloween. I think this is Lucy, is it? I think she dressed up as Plants vs. Zombies. So yeah, that's cool. And there's our skeleton, of course, and our snacks. So all good stuff to be had. Nothing spooky here, but just to let you know, call for speakers for Ship 25 is going to be closing out in a couple hours. So you have a few hours left to submit your session. Probably by the time you'll be watching this, we'll be rounding out the call for speakers. But the good news here is we've had a ton of great content submitted. We have more sessions submitted this year than we did last year. And so if you want to participate, you can go ahead and do so. Shipped 25. This is up on Sessionize. And this is also, of course, a call for registering for Shipped, which you can see here. We'll be publishing the schedule soon, along with all the speakers. We have 39 days until Shipped. This is a 2-day virtual event that we'll be hosting. So make sure to check it out at octopus.com/Shipped, which is great. Lots of great stuff there. And speaking of Shipped, we had a lot of action stuff that was happening at GitHub Universe. Lots of stuff was shipping there, including some capabilities. We were actually at the event in San Francisco at GitHub Universe 25. We had a booth, we had a boba bar, and you had lots of fun there talking to customers. And this was one of the blog posts that recently came out, one of the many announcements that were made at GitHub Universe. We were featured on stage during the keynote. But this blog post recently came out, Custom Agents for GitHub Copilot, which is awesome. And down here, you can see we have some partner-built custom agents, including someone that looks a little bit familiar there. So we were mentioned as part of this. And essentially what this is if you take a look at if you read through the blog post itself, basically GitHub rolled out a major update to Copilot, basically custom agents for the CLI. So now developers can define their own Copilot agents and act as specialized assistants. That's what agents are essentially. And they can live in your repo or globally, and they can include a whole bunch of custom prompts, tool sets, even connect to backend servers via MCP or Model Context Protocol, as we've been talking about on this show and other places. So we are part of the list of partner-built custom agents, and so that's fantastic to see, along with all the other stuff that happened at GitHub Universe. We had folks like Bob presenting there, which was great. Lots of stuff happening around GitHub Universe itself.
I was told the folks on the booth were pretty much in demo mode the whole time as people were coming up and wanting to see different things like Platform Hub and some of the new capabilities that we've got in the product there. And then, of course, integration with GitHub and how we work in conjunction with GitHub. So, yeah, it sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah, that was the one piece of feedback we heard, wasn't it? That people were reporting that they absolutely love Platform Hub. So there you go, more Platform Hub. So
That's so good.
yes. We've got some videos to share also. We've got Argo CD and Octopus. This is part of, obviously, the continuous delivery office hours that are hosted by Tony and Steve and Bob. And so they're talking just generally about a bunch of things. And this is a brief conversation they had about Argo CD and Octopus, which, by the way, if you haven't heard, if you go to our roadmap, which is at roadmap.octopus.com, and you take a look at our released section there, you'll find a whole bunch of stuff that's been released, including the feature for having Argo CD built into Octopus. In fact, we had a webinar that we hosted recently about this, and so now you can actually coordinate or orchestrate your deployments via Argo CD in Octopus, which is awesome. And so this is a video where Steve and Tony and Bob were talking about Argo CD support in Octopus, which is part of the CD Office Hours series. Another video we have here is Life at Octopus, episode 4 with Rob Pearson. So Rob's part of the revenue team, and he did a lot of work across the years at Octopus. He was part of some of the initial versions of Octopus, predating version 3 of Octopus, and so he shared some of his war stories and some of his awesome insights there. And he's a bit of a DIYer, so it was kind of cool to touch on some of those things. We asked a bunch of questions as part of the rapid fire questions that we typically ask as part of these. So we got to know a little bit about Rob there, which was great to see. And so that's available up on our YouTube channel. I got to ask the question, when are you guys going to be part of Life at Octopus? I'm waiting to interview you guys, It'd be fun.
I think we're all waiting for the big call up, aren't we? So,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I've been around for long enough yet. I feel like I need it.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. It's all right. We'll do it anyway. We'll do it live, as they say. So, and then rounding out things, we've got a new blog post here from Matt talking about what is MCP, or Model Context Protocol. So if you haven't heard of this is basically the underpinnings of what is being done around connecting your agents with underlying service endpoints. So basically a way of exposing your tools, resources, etc., to agents and AI software so that they can process the results and make it available. And it's done via a bunch of well-established protocols. And basically, if you publish it in a certain way and you make it available, it makes it easier to grok, basically, for these AI agents. And so Matt talks a little bit about what this is and how it works, etc. And in fact, we actually have our own MCP. So if you actually look up on GitHub, we have an MCP server available there. And we talked about this previously, but we are working to make this available up on various listings for MPC servers, including Cursor. It's available up on GitHub as well. So if you go to their MCP listing, which is at /MCP, and you do a search here for Octopus, you can see we are now listed as part of the many that are listed there for their MCP registry. So these and other locations are available for you to check out if you're at all interested. I can actually show you a quick example of what this looks like. I've got Cursor installed here. I actually was playing with this the other day, which was kind of fun. This is sort of ad hoc live. I didn't prepare the team for this, but basically you can see I've got it integrated here. So you have it set up here in your tools and an MCP section here. So I got it installed. And then you can just go simply walk up and so here are the tools enabled. So I can get a bunch of lists, etc. So if I wanted to, I could say list spaces, for example, and we'll go off and utilize the MCP server that I have available here and utilizing that as part of an execution. So I'm asking the agent here to go ahead and do that against my local instance. Not my local, my cloud instance, my personal instance, and you can see it returns the results there. So that's a quick example of what that looks like. And so lots of good stuff to be had there. And now it's time for Support on Friday. All right, so in this edition of Support on Friday, we've got the following question from Lucas, who asks, is there an Octopus variable that I can use to retrieve the user running Runbook? Something similar to Octostash, octopus.machine.name. By the way, this is called Octostash, by the way. This is just basically our limiter markup for your scripts that you run in Octopus. So if you ever see something like this is what this is. It's a way of referencing variables. And so Mark jumps in as always. Mark is there, quick to the punch. Somewhat counterintuitively named, you can use the following. So it turns out that a runbook is like a deployment, pretty much. They are structurally equivalent in many results. So where they're called octopus.deployment.created by, and then it's flipped. So you got to put the display name. It's not created by as the person. So that's what we're denoting that is. But there you go. So this is what Lucas needed, and this is a way in which you can reference this. And all of these variables are exposed to you within the process editor. So when you go and say run a script, etc., and you go to run it inline, there's a whole list of variables you can take a look at if you're so inclined. You can find these up on the docs as well. They're well articulated and pretty easy to reference, actually. Any feedback on this, guys? Anything you want? Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to mention the docs page. Like, unless you're in the product, like you said, if you click on the little variables button in one of the places in the product, it'll pop up an awesome list for you of everything. But I have been on our docs page for this as well, looking through some things. And of course, on there, you can sort of control F and, work your way around as you try and figure out what variable it is you need out of the many and many system ones that we do expose. So yeah,
just like Halloween, you see, we're come full circle. Just like Halloween, you can go into the jack-o'-lantern of variables and find what you need. The candy shop is open, so to speak. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. So
yeah, there's something there. It works. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, happy Halloween, everyone. That wraps it up from us for another edition of Deploy on Friday. Any final thoughts here before we wrap it up for this week of awesomeness? No. Very good. All right.
We're all excited for the weekend.
Anyways, with that, we are done. Happy deployments, everyone. We will see you next week. Take care.